soy. It's a derivative of soybeans.
What is soy? Isn't it? I think it's a bean that they use as like kind of like a dairy substitute.
Soy is a product made from soy plants? I don't know. That's a good question.
Soy is a protein. It's a bean, a vegetable.
Soy is a three-letter word that I know nothing about. I think it has something to do with Chinese food, but other than that, I really don't know.
Isn't that stuff you make like alternates of food with? I've never tried it.
Alternates of food. Well, soy is a topic that we could take a long time discussing, right, Joe? And we'll probably do that on a later show.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's a lot of press out there telling people to eat soy. Surely fermented soy, you know, in its natural state, before it's cooked, is actually a very healthy plant to eat. But cooked soy, and what they do to it when they process it, really advise people stay away from soy.
Yeah, well,
so do you suggest that the media should be soy for?
They should be very soy.
Okay, moving right along. Why don't we go to a viewer question?
Sorry about that.
Why are dark green leafy vegetables so good for me? Just because they taste bad?
Well,
it's a good question.
Two things there. Number one, dark green leafy vegetables don't have to taste bad. There are so many. What I do with almost all my dark green leafy vegetables is I saute them at a low heat with olive oil and garlic. Okay.
I do spinach that way, which is
isn't that
delicious.
wonderful?
And
Take
I just
a little
put black
lemon,
pepper. Yeah.
Because lemon will really cut through that bitterness. You know, because that's what that dark green leaf can have, a little bitterness. Dark green leafy vegetables are loaded with vitamins and minerals, first and foremost, because that's the way God made them. But what you see in that dark green is that plant has a tremendous ability to leach nutrients from the soil. That's one of the properties, and it would take 5 minutes to explain it all, but the short of it is that's what that plant's ability to do is, and that's what one of the things that give it that dark green color. So it has a tremendous amount of ability to leach minerals and vitamins and nutrients from the soil, things like selenium and magnesium and all these things that we need for our body.
And that's one reason why our super supplement, which is the Total Living Drink, has so many greens in it. It's actually a food product because they are probably one of the most healthy foods, right? Dark green leafy vegetables.
They are in and of themselves the most healthy food you can eat without question.
And I grew up, and Shirley did, on collard greens and turnip greens because that was mustard greens because that was a southern staple. And still today, love them.
And they made them taste good.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, because they put fat, you know, like pork fat. And
yeah, well,
depending on what you make it taste good with.
Yeah, the olive oil is great.
Making it taste good makes you eat them. You're better off eating them. I mean, it's a very simple notion.
And I also use a little butter to saute mine.
Not a problem.
I just use a tiny bit. It gives it such great flavor, you know, that spinach and stuff.
You have more questions?
Yes, I do. I have another good one because this is kind of a dilemma. And this question is, how do you know how many calories, and I would add how healthy something is, when you're eating at a restaurant? Because we eat out a lot, and so it's kind of like out of your control.
I'll tell you, it's a great question to bring up because as a health activist, one of the things Kylea is involved with is doing things like trying to work along with getting legislation that would demand restaurants to post the fat grams, the calories, and the carbohydrates of every food that they put up there. I would love to see it, Shirley, in school cafeterias, especially the grade school cafeterias and the high school cafeterias as well. But the point is you don't know. And there are so many things that have, hidden calories in it that, for instance, a lot of these fast food places, I mean, you've got the burger, and it's a low-quality meat in a real, low-price fast food place, so it's got higher fat content, okay? Then they have cheese, okay? Then they'll put bacon on it, and if that isn't bad enough, they put mayonnaise on it. So those things, one of those hamburgers alone could have 1,100 calories. But
wow!
So one of the things we do on this show every day is to bring you a healthy habit, a healthy tip of the day. Our healthy habit of the day today is to drink water first thing in the morning. And that's not overly fascinating, is it?
It doesn't sound profound, but there are a lot of good reasons why you would do it. Why would you?
Surely, if people did one thing every day in their life to profoundly affect their health, it would be that before they do anything else, well, maybe you have to wake up and, to do what you got. But after that, before you put anything in your mouth whatsoever, you drink 12 ounces of purified water.
Now, is that a bottle? Just a?
Well, it's a big glass. It's just a big glass, really.
The way Shirley conquered this challenge was while her coffee's brewing, she douses the water. Okay?
That's right, because I was trained from a child. The first thing that hits these lips in the morning is my cup of coffee. So it was hard for me to get into the water. But now, while my coffee's brewing, I drink my 1 or 2 glasses of water. It's not, it's a habit that you can get into. It's doable.
Well, let me tell you the benefits. Number one, you've been sleeping for 7, 8, 9 hours. Your cells are dry, so that moisture invigorates those cells to perform their functions. Secondly, your stomach and your stomach is empty. Your small intestine is pretty empty, and everything has lodged to the lower part of your colon, and it's ready for the elimination process. So when you drink that water, now picture this in your mind, you're drinking this water on these empty intestines, and that water is whoosh, 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 just going down and acting as a cleansing agent. In addition to that, that matter that still is in your large colon is now going to be made softer by the water, and it's easier to eliminate. So it really helps with your regularity. It's just a great way to start the day. I do it every day of my life.
And it is a habit you can get into.
It's easy, and it's inexpensive.
Doable.
Price is right. Costs you about a nickel.
That's right. I like that. Well, that's what this show is all about, and that is, habits that we can incorporate into our lifestyle without changing our lifestyle.
There's so many things that you can do that are, look what we talked about today. Just kind of a quick review here. Pancakes, the way to do it. Yeah. Hot dogs, is a way to do it. We're talking not only to the baby boomers across this country, but we're talking to. You heard that young man say,
yes.
Well, look, if our younger generation has no knowledge of what they're putting in their bodies, you're developing, if the whole thing about history, right? If we don't learn from it, we're bound to repeat it. If we're not teaching our kids these things, so the main emphasis of this program is to get people off the page of saying that being healthy means a cataclysmic paradigm shift in your lifestyle. Because it means anything but.
And Joe, the other thing, our target is boomer and the mature adults as well. And some people say, well, I've been eating bad all my life, or it's just like smoking. It's never too late to make a change that's really going to help you. And I don't care, if you're 80, I don't care if you're 90, you can start incorporating some of these healthy habits, and it will have benefit.
And Cheryl, we just really encourage people to tune in every week. We have done this format on the radio on a national basis, over 25 radio stations. We had stacks of mail every day, more emails than we could possibly, and it was overwhelmingly, the response was this: you have liberated my life in a physical sense, because I have gone down that road. I wound up so miserable because of so much self-denial in trying to be healthy. Exactly. I wound up exploding and going off the other end.
Yeah, and just say, forget it. It's too hard. I'm not going to do it.
Well, and that's why I say this is doable.
It is.
I can do this.
I can do this.
Well, Sherry, thank you for being with us. You won't be with us on every show, but we may have him back again, right, Joe?
We'll corral him back in. We'll make hot dogs for him and bring him back.
Could we schedule that?
And thank you for being with us, too. And remember, if you have questions about natural remedies, tasty recipes, or need some quick tips on how to improve your heart health, then email them to balancedhealth@tln.com. And if you'd like more info on the things we've been talking about in this show, visit Kylia.com or TLN.com. Click on Kylia. And thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time on Balanced Health. God bless.